Hey Scorpios. This reading is for anyone who identifies as or is very interested in a Scorpio during March 2019. Something, Scorpios, is not finished, and it seems to be causing some anxiety, some sort of a ruckus, even if that's just in your own internal world. An energy of independence also came through for you. I started this reading once, and that 10 of Swords reversed wanted to be on the bottom of the deck when we started this recording. I shuffled. I had shown you the 9 of Pentacles and then shuffled like so, and upon doing this, all the cards just flew out of my hands, and I was going to leave it for you to see, but then when I went to gather all the cards that flew everywhere, I went to just pause the video and I accidentally stopped it, and editing takes forever, so I'm just relaying the story to you now instead. But there is an energy of independence, but also, like I said, there's another message, maybe connected, of coming through of something not being done, something not being finished, and like I said, it's causing some anxiety, it's causing some type of a ruckus, even if it's just internal. You've got another 9 on top of the star, so we have the star and Aquarian cards. Some of you may be very invested in relations or matters with an Aquarius, possibly. But others of you are very invested in believing in yourself, having faith in your own abilities at this time. And then you have the 9 of Fire covering, also in your present moment, really, in March 2019. The 9 of Fire in this deck is the 9 of Spears. It's the 9 of Wands or Rods, more commonly in more traditional decks. It's this energy, right now, it's this energy of waiting on help, needing some kind of help from someone. Feeling the sense that you need some type of help, probably because of whatever, like I said, we were talking about, that's just not finished, it's not done, and it's causing anxiety. There's this energy of sensing that you need some sort of aid, but it is not any aid that can be of help to you now, any aid that is coming to help you and that could actually be of use to you at this time, that you could, would, should be asking for, right, is the kind that you cannot see. You cannot see coming. You do not expect it. It's not what or whom you're imagining it might be. It's a grander, larger help or aid that you, again, you can't see coming, you don't expect it. Often, especially with this deck, that 9 of Spears is saying that you're needing and or getting help, sensing that you're needing help from forces beyond the veil, from whatever it is that anchors you, source energy, channeling Gaia, the elements, a particular god or goddess that you work with, perhaps God, angels, guardians, ancestors. Something whatever force anchors you, or one of the forces that anchors you, that you work with, that you believe in, that is beyond the veil. That is, as again, it's larger than you would expect. The help that's coming is at least from a source. It may be something tangible in the real world that shows up, but it's you're sensing at least that you need some kind of help that is larger than what you can imagine or conceive of. Again, that you really don't expect. You sense that you need it, but you couldn't expect what would actually be able to help you. Okay. But at the same time, like I said, there's this energy of independence and of, with the Star card, believing in yourself. Maybe having faith that you can rely on looking to the cosmos, to astrology, to your own birth chart, to what astrologers are talking about currently going on in the sky. We are still in a Mercury retrograde this month. You may be having a lot of faith in that helping you, that astrological knowledge, helping you navigate Mercury retrograde if you're having a difficult time with it. It depends what your other placements are, Scorpio. What else do we have going on in the sky currently? Let me just glance over at my calendar and see if I have anything useful to contribute to that conversation. So yeah, we've been in a Mercury retrograde. That we're going to be in that Mercury retrograde until the 28th. Mercury goes direct on the 28th. So that's after our full moon in Libra that's coming. That's after Venus goes ahead and moves into Pisces, which is where Mercury is retrograde, right? Of course, there will still be that shadow period, which will take us into April. The shadow period after Mercury retrograde, where we are certainly still just as affected by the Mercury retrograde energy. Sometimes for certain individuals, even more so. We've also got Mars moving into Gemini, but that's not till the very end of this month. What else? What else? The Sun and Mercury are going to be conjunct here soon, just in a couple of days. Of course, Uranus just moved into Taurus at the beginning of the month, toward the beginning of the month. It wasn't the 5th, right? That's when Mercury went retrograde. I can't remember the exact date now, but it just happened just a matter of days ago. That could be affecting you as well. The star is Aquarian energy as what's covering you, and that can also be talking about Uranus energy. So some of you may be struggling with that, the initial adjustments due to that transit of Uranus moving into Taurus. I can see that. Uranus is air energy, Taurus is earth energy, you are water. I could see that with my very limited knowledge of astrology that grows and grows with this channel. Okay, so the belief that you're having in yourself right now, and the fact that, I want to phrase it this way, the fact that the only thing that could help you is a force that you can't even see and that's greater than you can imagine and beyond yourself, this is all rooted in the fact that you're doing work that you love. And possibly collaborating with other individuals. It may just be a sort of like a necessary collaboration, the way that content creators, we collaborate with YouTube, right? I always use these two examples, or people who sell on eBay, they collaborate with eBay. So it could be like a necessary collaboration. It could just be with a corporation, but it could also be with a group of people. In any case, you, whether or not you're enjoying the collaboration, you are loving the work that you're doing. You feel fulfilled. No wonder you're at a space where, you believe in yourself. You believe in your potential, your future. You have faith in you when I see the star card showing up. You have hope for your future. And you may be, I think a lot of you are receiving gifts from the divine, I want to say. You may say from spirit, that sort of blanket covers everything beyond the veil. regardless of your particular beliefs, but I want to say the divine. Some of you you're receiving those gifts, and that's why it's important that during this message for March, you take note of the fact that that sense is correct, that you do need help, but it's from a source that you can't see, and it's a gift so large you wouldn't expect it. It's like the gift of life. It's so large, you can't truly completely conceive of how someone can give you this gift. You can't you won't completely understand where it came from or how it was given, right? That is our third 9. I know you did not see the first one, but to me, this is our third 9. 999 or 99, it may be particularly significant to you. We've got the 9 of Swords reversed now. An urge to stop worrying about that sense that you're needing help. You are receiving a gift this month. Again, it's bigger than yourself. It's bigger than what you maybe could even ask for. I'm not saying don't ask the divine and what anchors you for help. Of course, if it has helped you in the past or comforts you, makes you feel like you're in direct communication with the divine, of course, ask for the help that you need. But there's no need for the anxiety that I said was coming with the fact that something's not finished. You're working on something, a type of work or a specific project, both, that you love to be working on. It could even be a relationship. It could be something that you love to work on. When you're working on this, you don't even notice the time passing because you love it. And whatever that is, there's some element of it that's not done. It's not finished. And you're feeling anxiety. And this help is coming from again, source, spirit, angels, guardians, whatever anchors you. This help is coming. You can't see it. You can't expect it. You can't completely understand it. But that help is coming. And there's this urge to stop worrying. Because like I said, I could feel anxiety coming through with that 10 of Swords reverse that was on the bottom of our deck. It looks like some of you are feeling fragile with the Queen of Cups on the bottom here. This can be your energy, Scorpio. Is it the queens that are the fixed energy? I don't know why I don't have a hold of that right now. My mind doesn't seem to want to hold on to that, actually. It looks like in the recent past, you have either gained a new perspective about what you're working on, or the collaboration that's taking place. It looks like you've gained a new perspective, or learned a new truth about that work, about the way you work or whom you work with, about what you're doing, why you're doing it, which would in turn grant you that new perspective, right? That might be specifically where it's coming from, some new truth you've learned. Which is what's giving you hope and faith in yourself and in the work and in the project and in pressing forward. And at the same time, it's like the only problematic factor here is that worry, that anxiety, that sense that you need some sort of help to complete this project. You need some sort of help to push forward now that you have this new perspective of the work you're doing, something like that. And you don't know where it's going to come from. You can't fathom who could give you that help, or maybe you don't even know what exactly that help is that you need. You're just sensing like it's time to ask someone for help. I need someone to guide me through this. I need someone to show me an example, or tell me why finishing is taking so long. Maybe that's where some of you are stuck, is you're wanting to hear a message about why is it taking so long. since there's anxiety about something that's unfinished, or maybe you don't see how you can finish. What's the way forward? How to finish? What's my path? In any case, whatever answer you're needing, like I said, that the answer is in your question, in the sense that as you're questioning, like, who could possibly offer me this help? Your answer is, don't try to answer that. You cannot fathom, you cannot conceive of, you cannot comprehend how the answers that you need and or the help that you need is actually going to be presented and going to come to you. The divine is assisting you. You are receiving gifts from the divine. If you're anxious about a wait period in order to finish something, maybe a passion project, maybe something you're working on that you love to do, something like that. If you're anxious about something that is not finished, the gift from the divine may be the wait period. Sometimes they put us on hold because we cannot see the crash course that we're on. We cannot see that we are so weird, cruising for a bruising. I don't know why that just came through. We cannot see that we are headed straight into disaster if we don't slow down. You know, like maybe you can't find, here's a random little example, maybe you can't find your keys for 10 minutes and you're cursing and you're stressed and you're, oh my God, you're going to be late for work. Why would this happen today on all days? Or I can't be late again, or there's that meeting this morning, whatever. And it turns out if you may never know that if the divine had allowed you to find those keys and leave your house 10 minutes early, you could have literally gotten into a brutal car crash. You know, not trying to put that idea in anyone's head, scare anyone or anything like that. Don't try to twist it up into something negative. But what I'm saying is that could be what it is. If you're so anxious that something's not done and how am I going to finish and why isn't it finished yet and where are my answers as to how to finish or when it will be done, take a deep breath and stop worrying, right? The Nine of Swords reversed. This is, you know, healing finally, finding relief at last. So this worry, this doubt and fear that's creeping up on you may have been happening for a while. Take a deep breath. Take time for meditation. Get into your body. Allow yourself to catch some extra Z's if you can't. Quit ruminating over the same problem, looking for answers that might not come. The answer might be right here, right now. The answer may be, this is a gift from the divine that this is taking so long, or that you don't yet see the way forward with this work, with this project. This is a gift. You're being held up for a reason. You maybe don't need to know the details. You maybe never will, but you can feel and sense that you're needing some kind of help, that you have no idea where it could come from. And again, that can be your answer. Exactly. The help that's coming to you is not something that you would expect. It's not something that you can see. It, again, may not even be something you can really completely conceive of. And I mean that for all of us. If it's divine timing, if it's a plan like making someone 10 minutes late for work so they don't get in a car crash, we may never actually understand what happened. We may always just be left with the task of accepting, like, well, there must have been a reason for it. And that's why, that's why that comforts a lot of us to say that often. When something is stolen from me, or when I run late like that, my mind always goes there. Well, you never know. That may have been absolutely for my best. I'm just going to assume that it was, because honestly, especially the more I do this type of work, the truer and truer it seems to feel that there just are no coincidences. And of course there are exceptions to every rule, but more often than not, it seems to hold true. So this may be the only connection you get to it, right? Is that sense that I need some kind of help. Where is it going to come from? But at the same time, if you can quiet your mind and stop worrying, don't you also sense protection around you? Don't you also sense that connection with the divine? Again, maybe there's a reason I got so detailed into whatever anchors you, whatever it is that you pray to, believe in. whatever powers are at B beyond our understanding, and perhaps that's just the chaos itself to some people, right? But even that, it's working in your favor. Then it will, if that's the way you frame it, right, it will aid you. It is coming to your assistance. You are not expecting this. You're sensing that you need the help, and you're focused on the part of you that's sensing that you need the help. That is there for a reason. That sense that you need the help is there so that you will receive it, so that you will allow yourself to accept it when it comes, right? It's not supposed to create all of the unnecessary fear and anxiety and instability emotionally that it's causing within you. She's fragile to the point where she can sometimes then be irrational because her emotions are making her so fragile. She's fragile to the point where she may just go numb and cut herself off from feeling because she can't stand to feel so wound up and fragile, right? She doesn't want to overflow with her emotions, so she may just go numb. And then once you're numb, if you take that route, you could end up hurting someone else, incidentally being manipulative, just because you're not in touch with what it means to be respectful of your own feelings. So you're not in touch with what it means to be respectful of other people. Those are just places you can take this fragility to. I'm not saying you're there, but it's places that it's on the same spectrum, right? You can take it there. You can allow it to grow to that point if you don't tend to that fragility. Like I said, meditate, sleep, get into your body, whatever takes you out of your mind, whatever takes you out of this worry. The Empress card wanted to show up. Does this have something to do with motherhood to some of you? It may be that you feel like you cannot take your eyes, your mind, your emotions away from this work that you love to do, away from this project that you're so worried about, so focused on, because you are nurturing it. You're thinking, but I'm the mother, I'm the creator of this. If I don't nurture it, if I don't worry about it, then who will? And really, who are we doing any favors when we worry about something? If you want to do somebody, whether it's your actual child or your project that you feel like is your baby, or your partner that is your baby, if you want to do someone some good, worrying just stresses you out. Worrying just makes you incapable of actually dealing with whatever comes up in the 3D, whatever comes up that's tangible for you to actually do. You're in your mind, you're spinning through your thoughts, you're worrying. You're not in a state of ease or flow where you could actively, effectively, quickly solve concrete problems in front of you. So who are you helping with that worry? If you want to help somebody with that energy, or your own project, your relationship, etc., turn that worrying into a prayer. Again, we're getting back into praying to whatever you believe in. Maybe you pray to God, maybe you pray to your angels, maybe you pray to Mother Nature, to the elements, to the sun, the moon, to specific gods and goddesses, to George Carlin. Maybe you pray to, again, the chaos. Maybe even if you, and I don't think most people who find this are non-believers entirely, but even if you're complete, identify more as a non-believer or an atheist or something like that, you have to, especially if you're interested in a tarot reading, you have to give credit to the fact that our thoughts are particles that have a weight, right? They are real. They're real particles with a weight. And so you have to give credit to the fact that that is energy. Those thoughts are energy that you're releasing, and you can direct them at something. So you don't have to believe in any one specific thing or all those things. I'll oftentimes go straight to source energy, that direct line to source energy, but it depends on your beliefs. But even if you're grasping for something to pray to, turn to nature, turn to source energy, turn to the fact that prayer, those thoughts when you intentionally direct them somewhere, they do have a weight, and that energy does affect a cause. It causes an effect, right? It does cause an effect. It depends where you direct it. So, you know, pray I don't know why I'm getting into, I don't know why this has led me here into getting to who you're praying to. Maybe because I see her literally praying here. I see the same character on these two cards that has such faith and belief in themselves, feeling fragile and looking for somewhere to pray to. And I don't think that most of my listeners, I don't think most of you need direction. I think most of you need to own the fact that right now, all is not what it seems. And Scorpios, you're not feeling totally comfortable with that. There's something about Pisces season, or again, Uranus is transit into Taurus, that might be, that you may very well be conscious of the effects on you, that conscious of the fact that because of whatever other energies are in your chart, you aren't flowing easily with these transitions. And that could be an answer to a question. If some of you are thinking like, well, again, who do I ask? Who can help me with this? Who can bring the help I need or the answers I need? Like I said at the very beginning, when I see the star card, I also see someone having faith not only in themselves, but in the cosmos, and turning to the answers of how are these shifting masses, these giant shifting masses all around me, how are their movements affecting me? These giant magnets, you know, are probably having some type of an effect on me. I wonder what that is. And if you're feeling fragile, anxious, thrown off, like you want to smother a project by, you know, mothering it too much, worrying too much, and subsequently are tearing down your own health in some way, mental, physical, or emotional, all the above, really. That could be where you place your faith. Maybe that is the answer. What can help me with this? Well, maybe the divine is solving things for you, and what you really need help with is just kind of letting go a little bit, just leaning back and saying, okay, let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens. And the astrology of why you're feeling the way that you are, specifically your specific birth chart. I mean, we're all so unique. Each birth chart is so unique. Your astrology of why this moment in time or this type of event causes you to have these feelings could alleviate the stress, truly. You also have the Death card reversed as another piece of advice. Again, this denotes someone who's could be fearful, halted. They're delaying a transformation, delaying the inevitable. And I think for a lot of you, what this is saying in this position of advice is be advised that the transition that you are currently undergoing is being delayed for a reason. I sense that coming through so strongly. We already talked about that. It feels like it's coming full circle. There is something that's on hold just for a minute. For some of you, it is a relationship. I have to say that because I can feel it coming through. For others, we're definitely talking about a project you're mothering and nurturing and working on. It's something you're nurturing. And that's why that Empress card wanted to come out. It's something that you're nurturing, okay? So for some of you, I have to say it is a relationship of some type. And it's like, it takes some work to get things going with this person, right? But you love to do it because you love them. You all have recently gained a new perspective of one another. Some new truth has shed light on the situation, and you believe that you can make this work. But something's keeping you apart. Something's keeping it from the commitment from completely coming back together, or the two of you physically completely coming back together. You know you're going to. It's inevitable. It's just halted. It is inevitable, though. It is just halted, and you know that this can work. You have the faith and the belief in it. But there's just this time period where the transition is taking longer than you'd like, and you don't quite understand why this month. Maybe, you literally just can't get in the same place this month or something. Be advised, again, there's a reason for it. The divine is helping you. You may not ever see all of the details as to how, or specifically in what ways, but whatever you're nurturing, the divine is helping you by making it take a little longer than your ego wants it to take. And so what you actually need to nurture in the meantime is your ego, is soothing that. Meditation, get into your body, go ahead and just go to sleep and get extra sleep. Look into the astrology of why these transits or these events in your life are causing this effect on you now. You're headed toward peace. This mental battle is coming to an end. You are headed toward peace. We also saw underneath here the Six of Swords, the Five of Swords reversed, and then the Six of Swords upright. You're making peace with whatever battle has been going on. I sense likely for a lot of you, it's just a mental battle going on within you. And then you are headed toward calmer mental and emotional states. A calmer mental and emotional space, maybe literally physically moving to where you are near this person and you feel calmer about the situation because you are. What did I just lose? In the near future, the only thing we haven't talked about is before you get to that peace, in the nearer future, there is the Hierophant. This could be a Taurus who's coming in to help you in some way, shape, or form. An astrologer you find, a reader that you find. If you're interested in a private reading with this particular Taurus, just scroll down to the description and you can find all the information and links down there. But this could also just be you finding faith in something else, right? You've already, like I said, this is someone who already has this faith and belief in themselves, in their ability to see this project or this work, this nurturing through successfully. Again, you know it's inevitable. You know that this transition, this transformation is happening. You've seen the truth. You've seen the light. You love what you're nurturing. You know it's going to happen because you know you're never giving up on it. And it's so beautiful, Scorpios. You are already, you have all the certainty you need, and that the divine feels that it needs to grant you at this time, because you know that you're never giving up on this until you see it through to fruition, to completion, and it's inevitable. It's happening. So why would it be taking a little extra time? And you can't see why. There's a reason. There's a reason. But you know it's coming. You know this completion is coming. And so you have that faith and belief in yourself. And in the near future, it looks like some of you are finding faith and belief in something else that does help to anchor you. That does help to see you through. It may be you're getting into your own astrology for a lot of you. Again, though, an Aquarius may be particularly relevant. A Taurus may be particularly relevant for some. With the Death card reversed, this is actually your energy turned upside down, Scorpio. Another piece of advice could be focus on the fact that you're not feeling like yourself right now. If you aren't, some of you are, some of you aren't. If you aren't feeling at home in your own skin, then that's a great indication that what you might have faith in next is looking deeper into your own astrology. If you can come full circle to the conclusion that the real anxiety problem here is rooted in the fact that something's making you not feel like you lately, then that could help you trace your way back to astrology, thinking, well, maybe that can point to what's happened in the sky that's making me feel out of sorts, out of my skin, not like myself. That's for some of you. But it can be, this faith can be in many things. The Hierophant or High Priest is a representation of faith, of rituals, of finding a humble teacher, perhaps. Some of you may be at that stage in your work. You may be at that stage in nurturing whatever work you're doing, whatever project you are mothering at this time, that you need an expert, but a humble one, a humble teacher, someone who can offer you what they've learned, what they've experienced, what they've seen, but without trying to tell you what your truth is, because they're humble. They realize that their perspective is only their own, right? No one who's trying to no one who's trying to tell you that they should be your guru, right? There's that Buddhist principle to always keep in mind. Beware of the guru who says they're a guru. And I'm not saying that's what you need. It depends on what you're working on. You know, if you're an architect, then you need an expert in that area. But if it's this feeling of not feeling like yourself, then it may be that you want someone who can offer you some new spiritual perspective, some new spiritual advice, some new spiritual information about your own birth chart. And I'm just certainly not advising you to look at any of those people like your guru. But another Buddhist principle I like is when you're in the space of being ready to learn, when you're being receptive to the lessons that the multiverse has to offer us all every day, every second at large, then your eyes are all open and your gurus are everywhere. Everything can play into your sequence of synchronicities. Everything. There's music in the air, literally, in the wind, in the trees blowing. And every person you encounter, every interaction you have can be your lesson. Those people unwittingly, unknowingly can be the guru, right? You can see the guru everywhere when you're ready for your lessons. So it can just be a matter of just opening your eyes to the nature around you, people included, and just receiving obvious messages and obvious help that you might be missing because you're in your mind with this worry and this fear and this doubt. It feels like such a it feels like such a back and forth message, because on the one hand I'm saying, like, you really believe in yourself. You have this faith in yourself. You know that this transformation is coming to fruition. You know this is whatever's not done, you know it is going to complete. But for some of you, sorry, I'm just taking a look at what the Spirit Song Tarot has to say to us. For some of you, you're repeating a cycle with this worry and fear, and that could be the very thing that is halting the transformation. So maybe you don't realize that you're not ready for the next level until you deal with the fear, until you deal with the anxiety. You really want this project to finish. You really want to nurture this work, this relationship, whatever you're mothering, again, to fruition. But the divine may be halting you and giving you time to deal with your anxiety and fear, because if you don't learn to deal with that first, you're not going to be ready for what's next, for the next level of this relationship or project or work. You have to learn to cope with that first. It might mean looking into your own birth chart, looking at what's going on in the sky. It might mean a humble teacher. It might mean just quieting your own mind. Again, allowing for extra sleep, meditation, exercise, get into your body. We can't repeat these things enough. Because in Joe Rogan's words, we all know the best way to live our life, but so few of us do it. We know how much we need to meditate. We know how much we need to get outside and in our body and exercise. We know how much sleep we should get, what we should be eating. But we just don't do it. Some of us, not all of you, we just don't do it. And then we get anxious and worried and full of doubt, and we start to ask why, when we know the best way to be taking care of ourselves, and we just don't do it. And so the divine may be this month in March slowing you down and saying, you have to make peace with those problems. You have to find a way to cope with those, or we can't take you to the next level of this relationship or this project, because you're not ready for it until you figure out how to cope with your own fear, your own doubts, your own anxieties. We also have charm and passion coming in, the Knight of Shells, the Knight of Water, more water energy, potentially more Scorpio energy, or Pisces, or Cancer even. This night is very emotional, has a lot to offer, but has not always completely processed their true feelings, right? So at this time, you know, you may be very excited about bringing whatever you're nurturing into fruition, but your emotions are, as I said, you're fragile. Your emotions are a little overwhelming toward the project or the person, toward that which you are nurturing, right? Your emotions may be a bit much, and you need to take time to make sure that you're being honest with yourself and those who are involved in this situation about what you're really feeling, about what those emotions really mean, the longevity of them. This is a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful energy. It's just that sometimes the emotions aren't completely matured. And again, I did mention the word manipulative earlier. That can lead us to be manipulative towards others completely unintentionally. Because if we're not in touch with our own emotions, how can we be in touch with respecting someone else's? It's just a natural, unfortunate side effect sometimes when sometimes, you know, nobody has any ill will that or malice that actually drives that. But this is also a card of lovers, a card of creative expression. So you may just have your foot on the gas pedal with this project or this relationship, right? With whatever you're nurturing, whatever you're loving to work on, whatever you're loving to do. You may just have your foot on the gas pedal, and it is beautiful. And it is a creative, loving expression from your heart. And it's Pisces season. So even if you try to think about long-term and future, it may be too difficult for you to suss that out. It depends on your chart. Again, not all of you. But it may be a matter of the divine saying, okay, so we'll allow you to enjoy Pisces season right where you are, but we're going to slow your roll through March until you're in a space, a head space, an emotional space where you can process what the implications of these emotions you're feeling are long term. For some of you, that's what's happening. Yeah, there's a lot happening. There are a lot of different messages coming through. I really hope that a few of them, you could follow a few of them clearly, those that were for you. I think I'm going to stop us a little short here just because the recording is so long, but thank you so much for all of your support to Lunartics Tarot. Make wise choices for yourself. I hope you do moving forward. I've told you about the private readings. I love you, Scorpios, and I will post another tarot fix for you very soon.